I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you're someone with a habit of taking things really, really personally, I want you to understand that everybody you meet is in a relationship with themselves before they're in a relationship with you.
Now, I'm not gonna lie. This journey of understanding and building self-respect hasn't been easy for me, and it's probably not easy for a lot of you. What I've come to realize is that it's not this big, flashy thing you achieve overnight. It's a daily practice, a series of small decisions that compound over time. The sources we've been exploring highlight this idea that respecting yourself is deeply intertwined with how you treat yourself in the present moment, with an eye towards the future.
Everyone, yes, including you, everybody has their own personal relationship with themselves before they have one with anyone else. Which means someone's actions, even when it feels really direct and very personal, it says so much about where they are emotionally with themselves than it says you. People with the habit of taking things personally live with a great deal of perceived personal importance. Understand that people rarely do things because of you. People do things because of them. And like everything else I talk about on my page, understand that there is an underlying root somewhere. Where there is a fruit, there is a tree. It's not a coincidence that you take things personally. When you take anything personally, understand that's an indication of an insecurity within you. What you're doing is simply projecting your own personal doubts and insecurities onto other people. You expect people to see the things that you don't like about yourself. You expect other people to reject things you reject within yourself. So it's never really what they said or what they did. It's more about what wound was triggered inside you. What insecurity did they hit on? There was a nerve and they just simply triggered it.
I started hanging out with very confident and secure girls, and this is what I learned. Secure women are made with steel. They are literally bulletproof. They're generous with their energy, but they are stingy with their time. They can process anything you're saying and they see it as a reflection of how you see yourself and not actually them. They're not boy crazy. In fact, a lot of the girls that I find that are very secure are women that honestly put men at the bottom of the pedestal. They're not obsessed with men's approval. They're not obsessed with the way they look, their weight, their face, their hair, and anything like that. They don't care about which angle looks good or bad. They are not afraid of taking ugly photos. They follow through with their word. They are consistent. They have this mentality of being forgiving all the time because they don't let anything affect them. I was growing up, I was told that a good girl or a successful girl is only one who is constantly studying and never having fun. I know, crazy, right? Like, these are brown women. These are Desi women who grew up having fun, going to parties, going to clubs, but still they are on their money. They are the perfect balance of fun and discipline. They know when it's time to have fun. They know when it's time to get real into business. They got their careers on lock. They got their investment on lock. They got their business on lock. They come to me with a full cup. They never come to me empty. They're not competing with you. They're always bettering themselves and they're enjoying the life that they built. So they have no reason to ever be in competition with another woman. In fact, they look to deliberately uplift you, will motivate you, will challenge you for growth, not to make you feel insecure, which is very different from women who come from a very insecure and victim mindset. I'll talk about that and the dangers of being around with those kind of women in a different video, but I really want to hone in on how impressive it has been for my own growing to be around women who are so comfortable and secure. It's like they have this white light around them that no matter what you do, they shine the brightest in every room. They will not be the loudest person in the room because insecurity is loud, confidence whispers. They are confident effortlessly. They don't have to pretend to be confident and say things like, I'm a high value woman, or I am super confident, I do this, I do. No, their action speaks it. In fact, they have this level of calm that is almost like threatening to an insecure person because it's like they know something that you don't. And the only thing that they know is that they can control themselves in every situation. In fact, they don't like self-depreciating humor. So when I tell them like, oh, I want a house in Malibu, my friend would be like, yeah, so which area? They have more belief in my dreams and my abilities than I do. And that gets me thinking like, oh my God, what does she know about me that I don't? And what's so amazing is when you find one, even just one confident woman, you become a magnet for other confident women. Because the thing about confident women is that they know they're a rarity. They know that this world is plagued by insecure women with a victim mindset. So they are constantly on their radar looking for other like-minded women. So when they see that your energy is not competitive, but it's actually very peaceful and you're restful and you do not need to yell to get attention from everyone around the corner and all the men in the room, they naturally flow.
How often do we make choices that feel good in the short term, but sabotage our future selves? It could be anything from not completing a task or procrastinating to ignoring our own needs and boundaries. Self-respect, in my opinion, is about bridging that gap between our present actions and our future well-being. It's like that example. of making your bed or closing the bread bag that's given in the sources. It may seem small, but it's a demonstration of caring for a future version of ourselves. The journey to self-respect can be a lonely one. This idea really resonated with me because it is a hard pill to swallow when we realize that the more we grow, the more we become aware of the people and situations that do not serve us anymore. When you start setting those non-negotiable standards and boundaries, you might find that the people you previously surrounded yourself with no longer align with your values. This doesn't mean you're better than anyone. It just means you're recognizing your worth and refusing to settle for less. It takes discipline to walk away from situations that drain your energy, especially when those situations are familiar and comfortable. But it's important to remember that tolerating disrespect from others is essentially a reflection of the lack of respect we have for ourselves.
People don't want you to know that loving yourself is literally going to be the thing that completely transforms your life, because it directly impacts your energetic vibration and your self-esteem, which will then affect what you can manifest into your life and how other people perceive you. On top of that, the better you feel about yourself and the more value you see within yourself, the better decisions you are going to make, not only about the people you allow into your life, but also the opportunities that you go after and what you accept. And after years of being on this journey, I have created a 10-step method that makes self-love simple for everybody. We always focus on how we're giving love to others, but what are our love languages and how can we give that back to ourselves? For example, if yours is quality time, you need to be taking yourself on solo days. If yours is acts of service, you need to be disciplined and be planning your weeks ahead in advance to make your life better, easier. Second component of self-love is self-acceptance. You can never love yourself until you finally gain acceptance and love around all of your weaknesses, all of your mistakes, every single past version of you, because you would not be where you are today without all of the steps and decisions that your past selves have made, no matter how cringy or embarrassing you think they might be. The third step to self-love is self-sufficiency, aka independence, because once you understand how to live for yourself, by yourself, and not needing to depend on anybody, whether that be love or achieving things, your standards are going to skyrocket, and it's going to mean that everybody you allow into your life now has to go above and beyond what you provide for yourself. And this is the most loving thing you can do for yourself, because it means you are never going to be stuck with the mistreatment of somebody else just for the sake of having company because you were too scared to be alone. The fourth step to self-love is self-discovery. When you are on a date, you want to learn every single insignificant detail of what makes somebody them, so that you know how to love them, how to understand them, how to be there for them. When are we paying that much attention to ourselves? We are so focused on how to make other people more comfortable, how to make them feel seen. How do you know every single insignificant detail of what makes you you, of your triggers, what makes you confident, what fills your cup? I'm literally running out of time, so let me know if you want a part 2. But I just read that all from this book, which is the ultimate guide to achieving self-love. It's called Buy Yourself the Damn Flowers. It's a book I wrote. It's available worldwide on Amazon. So you can read this all, and everything I just said was literally a fraction of just what's in chapter 1. So
somebody asked me, how do you love yourself internally instead of externally? And so I want to give you some tips on how to do that. All right, so find a place where you cannot be distracted, in your car or when you are in your room or something. And so one of the first things that I will do, and you could do this anywhere, anytime you feel like you're distracted, is you need to call yourself back into the present moment. You're going to call your soul back, right? And how you do that is that you close your eyes, because when you close your eyes, you connect with yourself internally. That's why people close their eyes when they meditate, and that's why people close their eyes when they pray, is because you connect back into yourself internally, right? And so you're going to do this by calling your name 3 times. So for instance, I would say Veroni Amanda Anderson, Veroni Amanda Anderson, Veroni Amanda Anderson, right? So you call yourself back into the present moment. The next thing I'll do is, and it's mirror work, but it is so powerful. I want you to look into your own eyes for 5 minutes. Look into your own eyes for 5 minutes, no distraction. Look straight into your eyes, and I tell you, you will be looking into your soul, right? And if you don't break out crying, I don't know. And so do that for 5 minutes. And when you're doing that, and when you're looking into your soul, I want you to say to yourself, I see you, I feel you, I love you. I see you, I feel you, I love you. I see you, I feel you, and I love you. The next thing that you could do this is one of my favorite too, is that you sit down. You could be in your car, right? You sit down anywhere, you close your eyes, because that means you're connected to yourself. You close your eyes and you put either your finger in your ears, right? Or some earplug in your ears. What this do is that you're cutting yourself off from the external noise. So this is going to make you connect inside. And when you close your eyes and put your finger in your ear so you can't listen to any sound, you are going to hear your own heartbeat. You are going to hear the sound, the resonance of your body, because your body have an internal sound. And so you're going to sit there and you're going to hear it, and then you're going to connect to yourself, and that's how you could love yourself internally.
If you have low self-esteem and you want to elevate it, listen up. Stop trying to have high self-esteem. No. You didn't think I was going to say that, but that is what I'm going to say. Let me tell you how you're going to elevate your sense of self. Number one, you are going to shift to having God esteem. What does that mean? Self-esteem really is esteem that comes out of your sense of self. What I have found is when it comes out of your sense of self, it's iffy. But when it comes out of your sense of God, so I have God esteem. I have God esteem that says I have value because I'm created by the Creator who loves me, who values me, who made me fearfully and wonderfully. God said he had a plan to prosper me and do me no harm. He thought about me before I was in my mother's womb. He knew me. And then I know how much he loves me just the way I am. Everything about me, this nose, the fact that I kind of like the sound of my own voice, all of that. He made me this way. Doesn't mean I can't become a better version of myself. Absolutely. I have to keep working on myself. But God made me this way. And so if God made me, if God loves me, if God cares about me, then me having low self-esteem and a low image of myself is an insult to my Creator. And so I have God esteem. I have value because I was created by God. And God does not make rubbish. Second thing around raising your sense of self, your self-esteem. Number one, start acting. Number two, start acting the way you want to feel. If you think that if you had more self-esteem, high self-esteem, you would dress a certain way, then start dressing that way. Don't wait to feel it before you start doing it. Start dressing up. Even in the littlest way. I want you to think about that woman that you admire, that you're like, gosh, I wish I had her confidence. Pick one thing that she can inspire you in. If it's the way she talks, or if it's the way she walks, or the way she wears her red lipstick, put on some red lipstick. Start to act the way you want to feel. This is not faking it till you make it. Far from it. This is walking in it until you can embody it. Your mind directs the body, but the body also directs the mind. And so sometimes when you put your body in certain situations, you can teach your body, and your body will transmit data up too. So you can start to put your body in a situation where it is moving in a more confident way. You know, when you do a power pose, do you know that certain hormones are released in your body that talk to the mind? So the mind directs the body directs the mind. So act the way that you would like to feel. Number three, learn something. Learn something. The more you learn, the more you can acquire knowledge, the more you feel better about yourself. And in particular, learn something that maybe is just life enrichment. We don't do enough of that anyway. You know, I'm currently learning French. Again, I've been learning French for a while. It's hard, but I'm getting there. Learn flower arrangements, learn about wine, learn about something that is a cultural enrichment or a womanhood enrichment piece. We do a lot of these things in the circle because I believe that, you know, that it just adds so much value to you. And when you add value to yourself, you feel better about yourself. So do that, right? Walk in the path that you want to walk. Live the life you want to live. Don't wait until you feel it. Start to do it. These are little things that you can do every day that will help you really feel better about yourself and raise your self-esteem. Last thing I'm going to say is get around some good people. Get around some good people. Stop tolerating people who throw shade, who are contemptuous, who are rude, who are nice, nasty. You know you deserve a better community. Get around some good people, because nothing grows, trees, they reach towards the sun. They're not reaching towards the darkness. And so there's a lot of shade, there's going to be a lot of darkness. Get around some good people. These are little things you can do that will raise your sense of self, your self-concept, your self-esteem. Talk to you soon.
It is not always easy to understand that people treat you based on the standard you set for how they treat you. If you accept being treated like trash, that is how you will be perceived by others. And that is something that can be changed by making the conscious decision to walk away from disrespect and setting boundaries. Now, here's the real tea. How do we actively build this self-respect? The sources offer some really insightful points, and I have my own opinions on this topic. It is important to make a list of what disrespect looks like to you. And then, most importantly, don't do those things to yourself. Treat yourself with the same level of respect that you would expect from others. Honor your word to yourself. This point from the sources really hit home. I think that the way to start building trust in yourself, which is a vital component of self-respect, is by doing what you say you're going to do. It could be as simple as completing a task or sticking to a new routine. It's about demonstrating to yourself that you're reliable. Prioritize self-care and self-focus. You are your most important investment, so start treating yourself as such. It means setting aside time for activities that bring you joy, and for introspection to gain a deeper understanding of your triggers and needs. In my opinion, self-discovery is key in loving yourself fully. Get clear on your values and boundaries. You are the gatekeeper of your life, so it is important to know what you stand for and what you won't tolerate. When you have clear boundaries, you naturally attract people and situations that align with your values. Remember that other people's actions say more about them than they do about you. This idea from the sources is so powerful. We often get caught up in thinking that other people's actions are about us, but in reality, they are usually a projection of their own insecurities. Surround yourself with good people. Don't settle for people who don't support you and uplift you. In my opinion, when you are around people who have high self-respect, you will learn how to do the same for yourself. Work on internal self-love, not just external validation. Yes, looking good on the outside is great, but confidence comes from within. And that is only achievable through self-acceptance, self-sufficiency, and self-discovery. It may also be important to connect with God if you are a religious person. Building self-respect is not a one-time achievement. It's a constant journey of self-discovery and personal growth. The sources highlight the power of small, consistent actions. It means understanding that you are worthy of love, respect, and happiness. Not because of what you do, but simply because of who you are. And sometimes, in the process of creating that version of yourself, we may realize that we are incompatible with some people, and that is okay. So, fam, I hope this has given you something to think about. What does self-respect look like for you? What are some ways you practice it in your daily life? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's create a community where we can support each other on this journey of self-love and self-respect.